Hey there, good morning. Today is Saturday, April 6th. It is 8:15 in the morning. I'm currently in Starbucks right now. Myself a little bit of coffee, ready to go. Today we have the second weekend session for the Ecuador program. I'm really excited. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then tomorrow, Sunday, April 7th, we have class from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so just to give you a little bit of a sense of what's on our agenda for today, so for Saturday, I see that we have boundary crossing after our welcome back and some icebreakers. So we'll see how that goes. And then we're going to be talking about teacher roles and developing a professional identity. That's going to be fun. Also sheltered instruction, thinking about lesson preparation. I also see a teacher inquiry project on schedule, and then we're going to be ending the day with a panel with ESL teachers. So that'll be great to be able to ask ESL teachers different things about their experience as educators in that subject area, just gain some of their wisdom, because I'm sure that they have a lot. Hello again. So right now it's about 7 p.m. Still Saturday, April 7th, about 2 hours after our second weekend session. And I just thought I'd come on to reflect and just share a little bit about what we learned today. So we started off with a trans-languaging exercise, which was a lot of fun. So one of our instructors, Magda, had typed up a story about the origins of the potato, and it was cut up into 12 different strips, so every student got a strip of paper, and parts of it were in all English, some strips were in all Spanish, and some were in English and Spanish. So as a group, we had to work together to fit the story into a logical sequence in which it would flow. So figuring that out was a lot of fun. I personally know Spanish. I mean, it was still pretty difficult for me because some of the language I just didn't really know. And the story was also kind of tough. But it was a lot of fun to work with my peers on that, and it was just a great way to get the day started too. And it also really put me in a place to be able to think about my students more too. When I'm going to be adopting these practices in the classroom over the summer, how are my students going to be feeling? Are they going to be feeling frustrated if they don't have a great grasp of English? And how can I better support them throughout activities like this? So I thought it was a great way to get the day started too, because translanguaging was one of the lessons that we learned about for the online course that we're taking right now. So that was great too, to kind of see a practical implication of it. And then we dove into talking about boundary crossing, which I was really excited to learn more about because I had an idea of what it might be, but I wasn't exactly sure. But we talked about how going to Ecuador, we're going to be crossing different boundaries, and how the boundaries that we have set in our culture and our society are going to be different in Ecuador, and how we have to be prepared to confront those boundaries, and how we're going to make sense of them and be culturally respectful. So we talked, for example, about different boundaries that exist, such as race and ethnicity, disability, gender, religion, and how those boundaries are going to be defined differently, and how we'll have to just observe and learn and ask people, and just take that in and be willing to deal with those new boundaries. So I don't know, that was a really great discussion this morning, and I had a lot of fun with that. And then let's see. Yeah, so we also talked about how those boundaries are going to be applied to us, since right now, we're students, but over the summer we're going to be, right now we're really in the works of adopting a professional identity and starting to see ourselves as teachers, which is it's a tough transition to see yourself as a teacher, because I'm 20 years old and I've been taking classes and I've always seen myself as a student, And now, well, I'm always going to be a student because you never stop learning, but I'll have this professional identity too that I need to start thinking about and adopting. And like, I have to start thinking about how do I want my professional identity to look? Like, what does that look like for me? Because I think it's different for every teacher. So starting to think about that and realize that it is coming this summer, and I'm very excited. I think it's exactly 2 months and 1 week until we leave for Ecuador. So I have 2 months and 1 week to start preparing. But and then yeah, we had some breaks. We talked about sheltered instruction and what that looks like in the classroom. And then we had lunch, so that was great. Friend Sarah and I, we went downtown to Panera and then to our favorite coffee shop, Saints. They have great coffee. And we talked about the teacher inquiry project, which is coming up for one of our summer classes that starts, I guess, right when the spring semester ends. So we talked about that. And then we ended our day with a panel with some ESL teachers, which is great. But one of the girls is teaching in State College, and the other guy is teaching in Brazil. I think it was Brazil. It's either Bolivia or Brazil. I can't remember exactly, but I believe it was Brazil. And he's like there on a fellowship, which is awesome. So, and then there were 2 other ESL teachers. So we had 4 amazing people to learn from for about an hour. So one of them came in person, and the other 3 zoomed in. So that was cool. But yeah, so I asked them some questions about their connection with parents and like how that looks in the classroom. I asked them about their experiences with teacher inquiry in the classroom and what that looks like for them on a daily basis, because like we talk a lot about teacher inquiry, but sometimes I wonder what it looks like in practice, because the way that we're learning it seems not tedious, but just very structured. So I was wondering how teachers practically apply the concept in the classroom. So because I mean, teachers have so much to do, so I can't imagine them taking the time to like always have this structured plan, just because I mean they have so many other things to attend to. And what else did I ask them? Oh, and I asked them for some pieces of advice since this will be like one of my first teaching practicums. So I got some great advice from them. Just be willing to be flexible was the main theme that I heard. The shades are opening, I think. But yeah, overall it was a great day. Learned a lot, and I'm ready for tomorrow. Oh, it's getting brighter in here now. But yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. Our class is from 9 to 1, and I'm sure that it will be just as, if not more, fun as today. But I will give some more updates about tomorrow's session. I really like the weekend sessions. They're a lot of fun. And it's great to be with everybody, because right now we don't really get to see each other as like a whole group together because the class is online. So it's great to come together. All the instructors are incredible. I mean, they take the time to get here early and set up snacks for us. They do not have to do that. They go out of their way. And I just feel very fortunate to be in this program. So I will update tomorrow. So hello, today is Sunday. It is April 7th. We just finished our weekend session, the second part of it, second day. Today was from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we focused on 3 main topics for the day. So we started off our day with talking about sustainability in teaching English as a second language. Then we transitioned into a break, and then we talked more about our content theme. We also did some review from yesterday, so we were talking about the difference between content objectives and language objectives. So we looked at some examples of objectives, and we're classifying them and distinguishing between the two. But then we transitioned into talking about our content theme that we're going to be teaching over the summer in Ecuador. So we were talking about refugees and just starting to think about like how that's going to work when we're teaching it. And our instructors also told us a little bit more about what that's going to look like with the teaching practicum. So Elizabeth was telling us that they're not just going to throw us right into it, that we're going to receive some supports scaffolding from our mentor teachers. Our 4 instructors will be our mentors, so we'll be co-teaching with another student in the program. There's 12 of us, so there will be 6 pairs. And yeah, what else? Then, we ended the day by talking about some of the upcoming projects that we have for over the summer. We talked about our courses that we're going to be taking and just really getting excited for Ecuador. So it was a shorter day than yesterday, but it was certainly a lot of fun. And I just want to say that I'm super grateful to be in this program. It was definitely a long weekend, but I think it was very beneficial to be able to come together. One of our instructors, Elizabeth, said that she's going to try to organize one last meeting before we leave for the summer, just that way we can all get together one last time for about an hour or so and talk about what's coming up for the summer and just all be on the same page and meet up before our next summer session. And I think the sun's coming out, so this is making me happy. But yeah, so I just thought I'd give a little summary about what we did. Just very excited and cannot wait.